Have you ever wondered if your bedtime routine is silently stealing years from your life? What if your nightly rest, or lack of it, was quietly increasing your risk of dementia or high blood pressure without you realizing it? And here's the real twist. A 91-year-old doctor says one specific bedtime could change everything. As the evening sets in, do you often feel weighed down by regret, unable to feel truly at peace, even after a full night's rest? Do your nights seem to follow the same exhausting cycle, where you wake up several times, only to rise in the morning already drained? If this feels familiar, you're not alone, and more importantly, you're not imagining it. There's a startling truth that most people never hear. Your current sleep habits might be quietly taking years off your life, up to 10, in fact. Studies show that nearly 85% of people over the age of 70 face serious health risks directly linked to poor sleep. I'm Dr. John Carter, and I've been a practicing physician for over 65 years. At age 91, my lifelong dedication has been in sleep medicine. Through decades of clinical work and research, I've uncovered something extraordinary: a specific golden bedtime that significantly improves blood pressure and lowers the risk of dementia by as much as 42%. Even today, I wake up at 5 o'clock a.m. sharp, still fully active in my profession, and I can confidently say, I'm in the best health of my life. The difference? It all comes down to what I'm about to reveal to you. This video will take just 10 minutes, but every moment is packed with powerful insights that could genuinely transform the quality and length of your life. In the second half, I'll give you simple, practical sleep strategies you can apply as soon as tonight. But before we go further, take a moment for a quick self-check. Ask yourself, does it take you more than 30 minutes to fall asleep? Do you wake up 3 or more times each night? Do you still feel tired after waking up in the morning? If you answered yes to 2 or more of these, then I urge you to keep watching. Tonight could be the beginning of real, lasting change. And one more thing, if you find this video valuable, please give it a like. It helps support my mission to share timeless, life-saving lessons with more people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend doing so now. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. And if this video resonates with you, please comment 1 below. If not, comment 0. Your feedback helps me improve and create more helpful content for you. Now, let's dive in. Sleep is not merely about resting. It's a deeply restorative process during which your body repairs its cells, rebuilds strength, and recharges vital systems. While you're sleeping, your brain goes through a critical cleansing process, flushing out harmful toxins that, if left unchecked, may contribute to serious cognitive decline. And this detoxification becomes even more vital after you cross age 70. According to U.S. health statistics, older adults suffering from sleep disorders tend to have an average lifespan that is 7 years shorter than those who sleep well. 7 years. That's time you could spend watching your grandchildren graduate, celebrating anniversaries, or simply enjoying more sunsets with your loved ones. Can you imagine giving that up? My own mother faced this reality. At 75, she was battling severe insomnia, waking up repeatedly through the night, sometimes sleeping just 2 hours in total. Her days were foggy, filled with fatigue and frustration. Doctors told her it was simply a part of aging and prescribed sleeping pills. But as both a physician and her son, I couldn't accept that explanation. I refused to believe that growing older automatically meant surrendering to sleepless nights. So, I went deeper into research, searching for real, sustainable solutions. What I found changed everything. Through consistent, evidence-based methods, I helped her reclaim her sleep. Now, at 83, she wakes up feeling energized, takes peaceful morning walks, and lives completely medication-free. Just 6 hours of deep, uninterrupted sleep has transformed her health and spirit. She's more vibrant today than she was a decade ago. Why does this matter? Because quality sleep is directly tied to reduced risks of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and even dementia. These conditions become more common with age, but they're not inevitable. At our clinic, we've seen firsthand that supporting deep restorative sleep can lower disease risk in older adults by 30 to 40%. So now, I ask you, what will you choose? Will you continue relying on medication and myths? Or will you unlock your body's natural ability to heal and renew through quality sleep? Keep listening, and you'll begin to uncover some of the biggest misconceptions that have been holding you back. That awakening, realizing that you've been misled, is the very first step toward a stronger, healthier, more independent future. For instance, have you ever thought it's just normal for sleep to get lighter as you age? That's one of the most widespread and harmful myths. Deep sleep doesn't become less important. It remains absolutely essential. What changes is not the need for it, but the rhythm in which it occurs. As we grow older, our internal body clock, the circadian rhythm, shifts. It tends to favor earlier sleep and wake times. Think about it this way. A person who was used to sleeping at midnight in their 40s might start naturally getting sleepy around 9 or 10 p.m. in their 70s. It's not a loss of sleep, it's a shift in timing. And once you understand that rhythm, you can work with it, not against it. You might feel naturally sleepy around 11 o'clock p.m. in your younger years and comfortably wake up at 7 o'clock a.m. But by the time you reach your 70s, that internal rhythm starts to shift. Many people notice drowsiness creeping in as early as 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock p.m., with the body waking up naturally around 5 o'clock a.m. This isn't a problem. It's your body's internal signal, gently guiding you toward rest at the right time. After more than 3 decades of studying sleep in older adults, I found a consistent pattern. Melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep, decreases significantly with age. By the time you're 70, your melatonin production is nearly half of what it was in your 20s. Not only does the amount decline, but the release of melatonin begins earlier in the evening, often around 7 o'clock p.m., and peaks between 8:30 and 9 o'clock p.m. This means that going to bed during that peak melatonin window, between 9 and 10 p.m., can lead to the deepest, most restorative sleep. Yet, many older adults ignore these natural cues. They continue to stay up until 11 p.m. or even midnight, glued to the television or exposed to bright artificial lighting, which suppresses melatonin and delays sleep onset. As a result, they miss the optimal sleep window and struggle with restlessness and shallow sleep. Another age-related change is the reduction in deep sleep. By age 70, most people experience about 40% less deep sleep than they did in their 40s. This stage of sleep is critical. It's where physical repair, cellular regeneration, and memory consolidation happen. Losing it can take a heavy toll. Let me share a powerful example from my clinic. One of my patients, Tom Harris, was 79 when he came to see me. Tom had always been a self-proclaimed night owl, staying up well past midnight. Even into his 70s, he resisted changing that habit. But over time, his sleep quality began to decline. He found himself tossing and turning, waking up at dawn feeling unrefreshed. He was trapped in a draining cycle of fatigue. Doctors offered him sleeping pills, but Tom was reluctant to become dependent on medication. When he came to my clinic, we made one major change. We shifted his bedtime to 9:30 p.m., aligning with his body's natural rhythm. We didn't add any pills or supplements, just a simple adjustment in routine. Within a few weeks, Tom's sleep transformed. He was sleeping soundly for a full 7 hours each night. His blood pressure, which had been elevated for years, stabilized naturally. Now he wakes up at 5 o'clock a.m., takes peaceful walks in the park, and says he hasn't felt this energized in years. So, what is the ideal bedtime for older adults? The answer may surprise you. It's between 9 and 10 p.m. That may sound early to some, perhaps even like a child's bedtime. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This window is what I call the golden hour, and it's backed by solid science. In 2021, our clinic partnered with several major U.S. universities to conduct a study on seniors over 70. The results were astonishing. Participants who consistently went to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. had 45% better sleep quality compared to those who went to bed at other times. Even more impressive, they scored 28% higher on memory tests the next day. Now, you might be wondering, why is that specific window so powerful? Let's explore the answer together. This 9 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. window is so essential because it perfectly aligns with your body's natural melatonin peak. For most people over 70, melatonin production begins around 7 o'clock p.m. and reaches its peak between 8:30 and 9 o'clock p.m. Going to bed during this time frame allows your body to take full advantage of melatonin's powerful effects, leading to deeper, more restorative sleep. But when you stay up late, watching TV or using bright screens, you miss that window. And missing it doesn't just make falling asleep harder, it weakens the depth and quality of your sleep, making you more likely to wake up during the night and feel groggy or fatigued in the morning. Let me introduce you to Susan Miller, a 76-year-old retired elementary school teacher. A woman of strong discipline, Susan kept a routine for years: bed at 11 o'clock p.m. and up at 7 o'clock a.m. But as she entered her 70s, she noticed troubling changes. She began waking up multiple times throughout the night and started her mornings with throbbing headaches and a heavy sense of fatigue. It became her new normal, but she didn't know why. When she visited my clinic, I suggested one change: shift her bedtime to 9:30 p.m. At first, Susan was hesitant. She'd never gone to bed that early before and wasn't sure she'd be able to fall asleep. Still, I asked her to give it 1 week. Just 3 days in, she noticed a change. She was waking up only once a night instead of several times, and remarkably, her morning headaches had disappeared. After 1 month, not only had her blood pressure stabilized, but her memory test results had also improved significantly. Now, Susan goes to bed at 9:30 p.m., wakes up naturally at 6 o'clock a.m., and begins her day with a refreshing walk in the fresh air, followed by a calm, unrushed breakfast. She often tells me how peaceful and clear-headed her mornings feel now, something she hadn't experienced in years. To be honest, I follow the same routine myself. At 91 years old, I'm in bed by 9:30 p.m. and naturally rise at 4:30 a.m. In those still, quiet hours before sunrise, I meditate, do gentle stretching, or read medical journals to prepare for the day ahead. While many of my peers have long since retired, I continue to see patients, thanks, in large part, to the clarity and energy my early mornings provide. And it all starts with a sleep schedule that respects the body's natural rhythm. Please understand this. After age 70, going to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. isn't just helpful. It's scientifically supported. It's what I call the golden hour for sleep. Now, you might still be wondering, can just going to bed earlier really make that much of a difference? Let me show you how it does, starting with 5 practical ways you can naturally improve your sleep. Let's begin with the first one: timing your exercise strategically. Physical activity is a foundation of good health, and it has a powerful impact on your sleep. Exercise promotes deeper and more restorative rest, but the timing of that exercise matters more than you might think. Engaging in vigorous activity too close to bedtime, especially within 2 to 3 hours, can raise your core body temperature and stimulate your nervous system, making it harder for your body to wind down and fall asleep. Raising your body temperature, increasing your heart rate, and stimulating your nervous system too close to bedtime can delay the natural onset of sleep. This happens because intense physical activity elevates adrenaline and cortisol levels, hormones that signal your body to stay alert and ready. While these responses are beneficial during the day, they can be counterproductive at night when your body is preparing to wind down. To truly harness the sleep-promoting benefits of physical activity, it's best to schedule your workouts earlier. ideally in the morning or early afternoon. This gives your body ample time to return to a state of relaxation before bedtime. Activities like a brisk 30-minute walk, gentle swimming, light stretching, or even calming yoga can support both physical health and restful sleep without overstimulating your system. Let me give you a real example. Robert Lee, an 83-year-old patient of mine, had added light jogging to his daily routine. However, he did so around 8 o'clock p.m., just a few hours before bed. Instead of helping him sleep, this late evening jog left him feeling wired and unable to settle down. He often lay awake, restless and alert. After consulting with his doctor, Robert made one simple change. He shifted his exercise to mid-morning, around 10 o'clock a.m., when his body was naturally more active. Within just a few days, he noticed a big difference. He fell asleep more easily, woke up less during the night, and began to greet each morning feeling truly refreshed. This small but powerful adjustment proves just how crucial it is to align your activity schedule with your body's natural rhythms. It's not just about what you do, it's about when you do it. Now, let's talk about another major factor that affects your sleep more than you might expect: screen time before bed. In today's world, digital screens are nearly impossible to avoid. Phones, tablets, computers, and TVs have become part of our evening routine. But here's the problem. These devices emit blue light, a wavelength of light that closely mimics daylight. This blue light suppresses your body's melatonin production, the very hormone that signals your brain it's time to sleep. When your brain is tricked into thinking it's still daytime, your natural sleep signals are delayed, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. That's why minimizing screen exposure before bed is so important. Ideally, you should avoid screens for at least 2 hours before bedtime. Of course, in reality, total avoidance can be difficult. Maybe you're watching a movie with loved ones, finishing up some work, or catching up on messages. If avoiding screens entirely isn't feasible, consider making practical adjustments. Start by dimming the brightness on your TV or computer screen in the evening. This reduces the amount of blue light and gives your body a better chance to wind down naturally. Reducing blue light exposure is a critical step in reclaiming your sleep quality. One effective strategy is to use blue light blocking glasses in the evening. These specially designed lenses filter out the most disruptive wavelengths, helping your body maintain natural melatonin production, even if you're exposed to screens. But perhaps an even more powerful approach is to establish physical and psychological boundaries between your digital life and your sleep environment. Removing electronic devices from your bedroom creates a space that's purely associated with rest and relaxation. Think of it as reclaiming your sanctuary from the noise of the modern world. Instead of scrolling through social media or falling asleep to the flickering light of a TV, try adopting more calming pre-sleep rituals. Reading a paperback book, listening to soft, instrumental music, or even enjoying a quiet, heartfelt conversation with a loved one can send clear signals to your brain. It's time to unwind. These gentle habits don't just prepare the body, they soothe the mind, setting the stage for deeper, uninterrupted sleep. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please drop a 1 in the comments below. It lets me know you're with me, and I truly appreciate your time and attention. Now, let's talk about something that quietly sabotages sleep in millions of people every night: caffeine and alcohol. Both are incredibly common, but both can significantly undermine your ability to sleep well, especially as you age. Let's start with caffeine. Found in coffee, tea, many sodas, and energy drinks, caffeine is a stimulant that can linger in your system for much longer than you might expect. On average, your body takes about 7 to 8 hours to metabolize just half of the caffeine you consume. But here's the kicker. As we get older, our metabolism naturally slows down, meaning caffeine can stick around even longer. That cup of coffee you enjoyed at 2 p.m., it might still be quietly buzzing in your system by 10 p.m., making it harder to fall asleep or stay asleep. That's why I always recommend avoiding caffeine in the late afternoon and evening. If you need a warm beverage later in the day, consider switching to herbal tea or warm water with lemon. Now, onto alcohol. Many people assume that a glass of wine or a nightcap will help them sleep. And yes, alcohol can make you feel drowsy at first, but that initial effect is misleading. While it may help you fall asleep faster, alcohol interferes with the deeper, more restorative phases of sleep, particularly REM, rapid eye movement sleep. As the night goes on, alcohol can cause you to wake up more frequently and spend more time in the lighter stages of sleep. The result? You wake up groggy, unrefreshed, and possibly with a headache, even if you were technically asleep for hours. Even modest amounts of alcohol, especially if consumed close to bedtime, can have this disruptive effect. Alcohol, especially in the later hours of the evening, can have a surprisingly strong effect on older adults. Our bodies tend to process substances more slowly as we age, making us more sensitive to their lingering impact. Even a modest glass of wine or cocktail before bed can disrupt sleep far more than you might expect. To encourage deeper, uninterrupted rest, it's best to limit alcohol in the hours leading up to bedtime. Instead, reach for something gentler, perhaps a cup of caffeine-free herbal tea or a warm glass of milk. These comforting alternatives not only hydrate but also help calm the nervous system. Now let's talk about something often overlooked but incredibly powerful: creating a consistent nighttime routine. Our bodies are creatures of habit. Just as a child settles more easily with a bedtime ritual, adults, especially in later years, benefit from structure that helps reinforce the body's internal clock. This circadian rhythm is what cues us to feel sleepy or alert, and it thrives on predictable patterns. Establishing a regular wind-down routine starting around 8 o'clock p.m. can help signal your body that it's time to prepare for rest. This could include a series of soothing habits that transition both the body and mind from wakefulness into a state of calm. For instance, dimming the lights around your home can replicate the natural fading of daylight, gently nudging your brain toward melatonin production. Taking a warm bath is another excellent strategy. The subtle increase in core body temperature, followed by a gradual cool down after the bath, mimics the body's natural preparation for sleep. Sipping herbal teas like chamomile or peppermint, both known for their calming properties, adds another layer of relaxation. You might also consider playing soft instrumental music in the background to create a tranquil environment. One often underrated but deeply effective practice is journaling. Spending just 5 to 10 minutes jotting down reflections from the day, what went well, what's still on your mind, or even your goals for tomorrow, can ease the mental clutter that keeps many people tossing and turning. Writing clears the mind, transforming anxious thoughts into something more tangible and manageable. The secret here is to personalize your routine. Choose activities that genuinely soothe you and bring peace. When you practice them night after night, your brain begins to associate these calming rituals with sleep, making it far easier to drift off and stay asleep. Lastly, don't underestimate the impact of your bedroom environment. It should be a true sanctuary for rest, not an extension of your home office or gym. Eliminate distractions like televisions, computers, and even exercise machines from the bedroom. These items, while useful during the day, often tempt us into overstimulation when what we really need is stillness and quiet. Rather than helping you rest, a poorly set up bedroom can actually keep your body in a state of alertness. Two of the most underrated but essential factors are temperature and humidity. Your bedroom should ideally stay between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Why? Because cooler environments naturally support the body's internal drop in core temperature, a key signal that it's time to fall asleep. Just as important is keeping the humidity level between 40 and 60%. When the air is too dry, it can irritate your nose and throat. Too humid, and it may feel stuffy or make breathing feel more labored, neither of which help you sleep soundly. Lighting and noise levels also deserve your attention. Light, especially artificial light, can interfere with melatonin production, the hormone that helps signal sleep to the brain. That's why blackout curtains or shades are highly effective. They block out intrusive light from street lamps, car headlights, or early morning sun. A pitch-dark room mimics the natural setting our bodies evolved to rest in. Meanwhile, if you live in a noisy environment, something as simple as a white noise machine or a steady fan can drown out distractions and create a calming audio backdrop. It's like giving your brain a consistent lullaby. Let me share a real example. Emily Clark, a 78-year-old retired librarian, used to watch television in bed every night. The bright screen and stimulating content delayed her sleep onset and caused her to wake frequently throughout the night. After visiting my clinic, we made a few small changes. She moved the TV out of the bedroom, adjusted the room temperature to a steady 67 degrees, and installed blackout curtains to block light completely. In just a week, Emily experienced a transformation. She began falling asleep faster, stayed asleep through the night, and woke up feeling genuinely refreshed, something she hadn't felt in years. By putting these 5 simple but powerful practices into place, timing your exercise smartly, limiting screens before bed, being mindful of caffeine and alcohol, establishing a calming nightly routine, and transforming your bedroom into a true sanctuary, you're not just improving your sleep. You're investing in better health, stronger immunity, sharper thinking, and a better quality of life. These small, consistent changes, especially when tailored to your personal needs, build a holistic foundation for truly restorative sleep. And for older adults in particular, they offer an accessible and effective path toward well-being and longevity. If you're still watching and gaining value from these lessons, drop a comment below with the number 2, so I know you're still here with me. I truly appreciate you spending this time together. Your bedroom can truly transform the quality of your sleep. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to be perfect overnight. Just start with one simple change and stick with it for 2 weeks. Small steps often lead to the biggest breakthroughs. If you're watching this now, it means you're serious about making a shift. So let's take that next step and explore what to do when sleep simply refuses to come. Everyone experiences those restless nights when sleep feels like a distant dream, tossing and turning, watching the clock tick by. It only builds anxiety. Forcing yourself to fall asleep rarely works. That's why I teach my patients 5 practical strategies that help calm the mind and body during sleepless nights. The first is called the 20-minute rule. If you haven't fallen asleep after 20 minutes, don't stay in bed. Remaining there often creates a mental association between your bed and wakefulness. Instead, gently get up and move to another quiet, dimly lit space. Try reading a few pages of a book under soft lighting, sipping warm herbal tea, or even engaging in a relaxing task like knitting or folding laundry. Return to bed only when you feel sleepy, and whatever you do, avoid phones and TVs. Their blue light will only keep your brain alert longer. Second, use breathing and relaxation techniques to slow your heart rate and ease tension. A powerful one is the 4-7-8 breathing method. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7, then exhale gently through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat this cycle a few times, and you may notice your body naturally relaxing. You can also try progressive muscle relaxation. Tense each muscle group, feet, legs, arms, for 5 seconds, then release and relax for 10. This not only helps you become aware of physical tension, but also actively releases it. Third, calm the mind. As we age, it's common to lie in bed replaying the past or worrying about the future. One effective strategy is to jot down your worries in a small notebook and say to yourself, "I'll think about this tomorrow at 10 a.m." Then, mentally transport yourself to a calm setting, a quiet forest, gentle waves on a beach, or a peaceful mountain sunrise. Focus on the sound of your breath and let that visualization carry you. One of my patients, George Adams, An 81-year-old former businessman used to lie awake for hours haunted by regrets. But once he started this practice, his time to fall asleep dropped from over an hour to just 15 minutes. Fourth, consider gentle natural sleep aids, especially if you prefer to avoid medication. Chamomile tea is a timeless remedy, soothing both the mind and digestive system. Lavender essential oil, when diffused or applied lightly to a pillow, has been shown to calm the nervous system. And valerian root tea is another herbal solution many older adults have found helpful in easing restlessness. Valerian root has been used for centuries to soothe insomnia, and for good reason. A warm cup of valerian tea taken about 30 minutes before bedtime can help lull the mind and body into a relaxed state, gently preparing you for deep sleep. Many of my patients who were once dependent on prescription sleep aids have successfully made the switch to valerian tea. They've not only reported falling asleep more easily, but also feeling more refreshed in the morning without the grogginess often associated with pills.